Oh man. All right. So, today I want to talk about. I just made a video, so it's kind of weird I'm saying that, but I want to talk about how the devil and God or an angel are depicted, like in the archetypal way, like an angel wearing all white, and the devil wearing red or being red. I saw something yesterday that kind of sparked this idea, or it kind of like gave me insight, and I wanted to share what I discovered, or what I encountered, or what I feel like I decoded or whatever. It may not be something that I decoded, but I want to share it anyway. Um, First and foremost, your root chakra is red. So when we think of the color red, we tend to think of things that deal with survival, such as having a roof over your head, what we're gonna eat, or like basically being secure and having a stable foundation. So one of the reasons why I feel like we don't necessarily, how do I want to say this? One of the reasons why we demonize this is because we either are not stable financially. There's going to be levels to this. We're not stable financially most of the times, and we kind of like get stuck in that area. And then also we get stuck thinking about like what we're going to eat and how we're going to survive, because that's what it is. We get stuck in the area of wanting to like survive other than like thrive and live and flourish and move on and go higher and higher. And that's what we're supposed to be doing. That's what we're meant to do, is like go higher. But a lot of people get stuck in that area. So that's what we have in like a 3D world. We get stuck in basically surviving. Like how am I gonna eat? I gotta go to work. I gotta provide for my family. I gotta do all this, and we like get stuck stressing about stuff like that, which is something that keeps us focused on basically the ground, the roots, things that aren't necessarily beneficial to us or fulfilling to us. I think fulfilling is a better way of putting it. Like, it's not necessarily fulfilling to us, like, because we're constantly stressed about things that are important, in the sense that we have to have like a roof over our head. We have to be able to feed ourselves. We have to make sure that we're safe. We have to make sure that we're secure. But once you lay that foundation, you should build up, or should be encouraged to build up and move higher and higher and higher and higher. All right. But another thing too is and the reason why this could be considered like the devil, and it gets all these negative connotations, I mean, including what I just said, like is because it's a very low level, it's a very low vibration. Like, you can't really enjoy it. But it's also because it's a lot of past life energy down there as well. Like, people get stuck in their lowest selves, like living a life without actually thinking and functioning on higher levels. Like, a lot of people who get stuck on this, or get stuck in their lower self, basically get stuck doing like working their whole lives, not really accomplishing much or really having much, because they're too focused on the day to day, the normal stuff that most people who don't really want much out of life focus on. And it's not necessarily saying, well, I can't say not they don't want much out of life, is that they don't really accomplish much in life. And that's not, it's not just, it's not, I can't say it's not even, I can't even say it's not a bad thing. It is a bad thing if you don't seek to accomplish more out of life, or you don't want more out of life. Like if you don't want, for instance, to have true love, or to basically express yourself, or to see the world for what it is and see it clearly. Like if you want to have ignorance to things that go on around you, it's like you just want to be some type of like robot or robotic, not really feeling anything. If you want that, then that's for you. But you have to have the understanding that there are things higher than that, and there are things much better than that we can have. Like this world is so tricky, but it's very simple once you get a certain level of understanding. Like once you raise your vibrations, everything becomes clearer. And the reason why I say that it's like a part of your past life is because we tend to die. And if you die, you basically start on that low level a lot of the times. From what I've noticed about certain people, well, I can't really say, I can only speak for myself, but I know that you have to build that up again, because you are basically stuck in a cycle of death and rebirth. And since you're stuck in the cycle of death and rebirth, you have to build that energy back up. And living old programs, old thoughts, and things like that, it could be maddening. It can drive a person crazy because they're not aware of it, or they're not aware of it. A good movie to watch, and a good example of what I mean, is like the movie What Dreams May Come. When you look at that movie and you see that his wife was basically in hell, and she would like her house was dirty and all these things, and she was like miserable. She experienced sorrow and sadness and all these things, like, and she was very depressed and all these things. But the guy, Robin Williams' character, he experienced heaven. Like his life was basically a living painting, like a painting that either his wife created or he created. I can't remember which one, but his vibrations were that high. Like he was experiencing heaven because he was happy, and he just was on that level. And that's what it is for you to be like, on a higher level. Like you basically can live a life or an afterlife of, I would say a life of bliss, if you raise your vibrations up that level, to that level.